Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Butt Fumble Sports Daily Show. It is so wonderful to be back with you after a bit of a hiatus. Big shout out to Dr. Julie Mitchell, who gave me a new 6 front teeth, and that is why I am officially back. Yeah, I was out for a couple days. You did not want to see what my mouth looked like during that time away. Not exactly the prettiest thing, a little bit sore. That said, we are back talking sports. We're going to rant about what's going on in the sports world. We're going to do our research to help you guys bet on the NBA, NHL, and MLB today. And of course, if you guys want to talk some fantasy, whether it's from MLB, NBA, NHL, or even look ahead to the NFL and some fantasy football, we're here for it as well. Butt Fumble Sports is a sports content company created by a sports fan for all you real sports fans at home. If you love the content, if you love talking sports, if you love sports betting research, you've certainly not only come to the right place, but make sure you hit the follow button, hit the subscribe button on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick, and that way you never miss a show when we go live. Yes, it has been a bit of a minute, but that doesn't mean we're not locked in and ready to go on today's action. We obviously have a lot of picks to get to. We're going to do our research. There are a couple of NBA playoff games tonight on the docket. First one up, Celtics game hosting the Cleveland Cavaliers. Obviously, Celtics a very heavy favorite, 12.5 points in that one. We'll dive into what's the best bet to make on the money line, Celtics, and what's the best bet to make on the spread as well as the total. We'll also look ahead to the night game, the late night game, Mavericks at OKC. It's obviously a battle between Luka, Kyrie against the young guns of OKC. We'll be excited to break that one down as well. Switching over to the NHL tonight, 2 games dropping puck tonight. Carolina Hurricanes try to even up the series against the New York Rangers at Madison Square Garden. That one has puck drop at 7 p.m. We'll dive into that one. And Avalanche and Stars. Game 1 of that series because the Stars went 7 with the Golden Knights. We'll dive into Avalanche and Stars. That one takes place in Dallas at 9:30 as puck drop. And of course, we've got a lot of MLB on the schedule. Already the Rangers are pummeling the absolute crap out of the Oakland Athletics. I took the Rangers earlier. I also took the under. Under not so much. That the over covered in like 2 innings. That said, the Rangers are beating the snot out of the A's. We'll look at some of the other matchups on the schedule, including a juggernaut matchup in the Bronx. Justin Verlander and the Astros are in New York to face the New York Yankees. Always interesting to see when the Astros come to New York. That rivalry is always so much fun. And Justin Verlander on the mound against Juan Soto, Aaron Judge. I'm absolutely about that one. We'll dive into that as well. But as always, we're going to give out some picks throughout the show. Let me give out a few picks for you guys just to get you excited about the show overall. First pick that I'm going to put up on the board, not a surprise here, it's a Celtics on the money line. You guys know this is a very obvious play. There are a lot of trends to support it, but I'd throw this into a parlay. If you guys follow me on the SHARPZ app, the SHARPZ app is where you can find all of my bets every single day. There is a bet I really, really like today. I mentioned it on my Instagram. I mentioned it on SHARPZ. Darius Garland over 14.5 points. I put it up there. Hope you guys are following me no matter the platform. I really like that as a same game parlay. Celtics on the money line, but I take Darius Garland over 14.5 points. The reason I'm doing that, I'll show it to you guys over here on Outlier. Outlier is one of the betting research tools that we use every day. If I go to Darius Garland and I specifically look at his points, he has right now the total set at 15.5. Be mindful of that. I'm taking it at 14.5, but he has a phenomenal history against the Celtics. 6 straight games, he's had at least 16 points against the Boston Celtics. Whether in Boston or whether in Cleveland, Darius Garland has been able to score at least 16 points in 6 straight games against the Celtics. By the way, the Celtics are not a very good defense against point guards. They're 21st in points allowed to point guards, so I love this opportunity. First picks on the board tonight, Celtics on the money line. I'm same game parlaying that with Darius Garland over 14.5 points. That's one of my actual favorite bets of the day. Actually, if you combine those two, gets you to plus money. One of the reasons I really like it. Jeff, OKC, I'm putting that one up on the board as well. In case any of you guys were curious about my NBA picks for today, pretty obvious. Celtics on the money line. I'm also taking the Thunder on the money line. I do like the favorites this evening. We'll dive into a little bit of how we're coming out on the spread, but later in the show. Appreciate you guys being with us. Hope you guys are excited about tonight's action. If you guys have a question, dive into it. User 4079 really likes the Dodgers -1.5. I do as well. I think that's a very good call. Dodgers -1.5. The big reason for that is the starting pitcher of the Dodgers. It is the young, up-and-coming, I don't know if he's a stud yet, but he certainly has the prospect of being Yamamoto. Yoshinobu Yamamoto is on the mound tonight. He has been fantastic. Let's actually dive into that really quick. Starter, and that's Yoshinobu Yamamoto. So far this season, 3-4. Dodgers are just 2-5 on the run line, but he's been pitching better and better in his last few starts. 1 run, 2 starts ago, 0 runs in the last start. I really like him today as well. But actually, what do I really like about it? It's the Marlins. Marlins are a bad team. A lot of reasons for us to kind of be fading the Marlins right now. Let's look at the Marlins after a loss when they're an away dog. 5-7 straight up. 7-5 on the run line. Actually a little bit better than I thought, but just 1-3 in their last 4 games. How about when the previous game their runs were less than, let's say, 4? Because that's what it was yesterday. 4-6, kind of interesting there. Let's switch it over. Let's see if the Dodgers bring up some good trends. Dodgers, after a win and a home favorite, 7-3 straight up. They've won 3 in a row. Very, very strong. Anything else that we like about this? Interestingly enough, James Paxton struggled there. Okay, anyways, I'm going to put this one up on my board. I do like Dodgers on the money line. You could take them at -1.5, but I like Dodgers on the money line. That's definitely a pick I put out. If you guys want every bet that I make every day for free, DM me on Instagram. Butt Sports is the name of my handle. I give away my picks for free every day. I never think you guys should pay for picks. I think it's ridiculous. I love doing research. I love talking sports. And if you guys care about trends, data, analytics, then I'm the kind of guy you should be following. Make sure you DM me on Instagram. Butt Sports. Give away my picks for free. Every one of them is on the SHARPZ app. SHARPZ allows sports bettors to post their bets and have a lot of transparency. I want you guys to see my picks. You can follow them, you can fade them. It's entirely up to you. But my job is to research picks. My job is to research the best bets of the day. And you guys can decide what you want to do with it. But if you love picks for free, DM me on Instagram. Pats and Sox is asking about the Cubs on the money line. Another young Japanese starter on the mound. Another reason that we actually really like the Cubs on this one, liking the favorite on this one. Really quick, let me pull up my research on the Cubs. So Chicago Cubs hosting the Padres tonight. Randy Vasquez for the San Diego Padres. Shoto Imanaga on the mound for the Cubs. Imanaga has been a baller so far this season. Let me pull up how the Cubs have done when he's been on the mound. By the way, thank you so much for the gift. We appreciate the support that you guys show the channel. Every time you guys help us out, I just want you to know it allows us to make more content, go live more frequently, so we certainly appreciate that. We have no expectations, though. Imanaga has been a boss so far this season. The Cubs are 6-0 straight up when he starts. They're 5-1 on the run line. Phenomenal. The under has gone 3-2-1. Don't know if I love the under over in this scenario, in part because, let me switch over actually. I want to check the weather at Wrigley Field. By the way, for baseball, I can't put it up on my screen, but I use ballparkpal.com. I pay for a subscription. They're not a sponsor of the show, but I love using them to get data on fantasy baseball as well as weather reports. They're actually a really good site for that, but it does require a subscription. Not great. Anyways, weather in Chicago is favoring a lot of runs Likelihood of home runs is actually up 41%. Likelihood of overall runs is up 11%. So I'm not going to touch the over-under in the Cubs game, but I like the Cubs on the money line. I'm right there with you guys. I like Cubs on the money line. Imanaga is a big reason behind that. If we look at how the public is betting this game, 75% of the money is on the Cubs to win. 98% of the money is on the Cubs to cover. Interesting there. Let's take a quick look at the Padres. And let's see how they've done against a left-handed starter so far this year. When the Padres have faced a left-handed starter, they're actually 6-3 straight up. Let's see how they've done against a left-hand starter on the road. They're 5-0, and they're 5-0 on the run line. So this might be a time where you actually want to kind of split the difference on this. The Padres have been very good against left-handed pitching on the road. That includes James Paxton, Wade Miley, Justin Steele of the Cubs yesterday. Padres got that win. Might be interested in taking a bit of a side action on the Padres. I think the Cubs do win, but you might want to hedge that one. I'm actually going to rip that off my board. You actually might want to take Cubs money line, Padres plus 1.5. That's a trend I didn't see earlier. That kind of has me a little hesitant. Padres 5-0 straight up and 5-0 on the run line against a left-handed starter when they're playing on the road. Just something of note. Diamondbacks and Giants money line. Well, Giants on the money line I very much do like today. Giants are playing the Rockies. Giants have the better starter going. I'm not going to dive too much into the trends on this one. I do like Giants on the money line. Let's go to that Diamondbacks game. The Diamondbacks game actually is a really tough one for me to pick. I ended up not betting that one. I was on the fence. I was going back and forth all morning long, but I'm going to show you why I'm actually a little bit hesitant about taking the Diamondbacks this evening. Diamondbacks are playing the Reds right now in Cincinnati, and for me, part of the caution is around the starter. Zach Gallen is a stud. Zach Gallen has been an elite starter over the last few years for the Diamondbacks. So far this year, though, not so much. Zach Gallen has actually had his struggles so far this year. Let me pull up the stats so you guys can see how he's performed so far in 2024. For those that are watching right now on TikTok, I do my research live on my screen on YouTube, Twitch, or Kick. So if you guys want to follow along with everything I'm saying, all the research that I'm doing, if you switch over to YouTube, Twitch, or Kick, you can literally see every piece of research that we do live on the screen. If you watch on YouTube, I'm obviously going to say out loud what bets we like, what research we're doing, but it depends on the experience that you prefer. As we wait for killersports.com to load, the website we're trying to have load right now, a little frustrated that it's not actually going, is killersports.com. It's a free website that allows you to look up betting trends and look up data around sports, sports betting, anything that you guys care about. That's KILLER sports.com when it works. Right now it isn't working, which is really frustrating because, frankly, I'm not asking it to do that much. I'm asking it to put in Zach Gallen as a starter. Kind of sucks. Okay, let's maybe we'll start over. Let's switch over, though. Let's look at how the money's coming down on this while we wait for that to load. I'll pull that up again. Sometimes it's a little slow. I don't know why, but it is. Anyways, outlier, let's take a look at how the money's coming down. Right now, 66% of the tickets are coming down on the Diamondbacks to win. 78% of the money is on the Diamondbacks to win. So out there, whoever put it T, Diamondbacks money line is getting a lot of the money right now. The public and the money is coming down on it, the smart money. So I actually think you're onto something. Diamondbacks are also favored on the spread. T, I actually think you have a nice little parlay there, if I can be frank with you. Man, killersports.com. Let's get our shit together. Okay, let's take a look at Zach Gallen, though. This was the only reason that I didn't bet the Diamondbacks earlier today. Zach Gallen, 3-3 so far straight up, the Diamondbacks are when he starts. But when he's on the road, man, when he's on the road, he's 0-3. And the Diamondbacks are 0-3 straight up and on the run line. So the only reason I'm actually not all convinced about Zach Gallen is because of his performances on the road. T, I don't think that's enough to create caution, 3 bad starts, but I did want to point it out to you. Let me show you. By the way, IP Shade 45, thanks for the mariachi hat. I wanted to just try it as a new gift. It seemed like a really cool thing, so appreciate you hooking me up. Let's take a look at the team, though. Diamondbacks actually have a little bit of an interesting trend. I was thinking, should I put this one up on my Instagram account earlier? And then I was like, no, probably too lame. But Diamondbacks, when they've played on a Tuesday so far this year, they're undefeated. The Diamondbacks are 5-0 straight up when they played on a Tuesday. I don't know what it is, but the Diamondbacks play really well on a Tuesday. Can't figure it. But anyways, just really quick, how have the Reds done playing on a Tuesday? Just for comparison, they're 1-4 straight up, 1-4 on the run line. Now again, I'm not saying days of the week are necessarily the trend or the variable that you care most about. But what I would say is it's kind of interesting to note because that speaks to how teams are performing coming off the weekend, how they're getting into their next series after that weekend series. So just kind of something we take note of, and the fact that the Diamondbacks are in a good spot for it definitely stands out. Let's go to the Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks after a win as a road favorite. 1-2 straight up, 1-2 on the run line. The under's 2-1. That's the circumstances tonight. How about if they just coming off a win and they're on the road? Diamondbacks 1-3 straight up, 1-4 on the run line. The under is 3-1. Now, the runs should be plentiful in this game. What I would say is the over feels like a much better play in this game. Personally, I do like the Diamondbacks and I do like the over, but I also would consider a Reds cover play. If you were interested in the Reds, you could take them at +2, and I think that would be a very good play as well. So keep your eye on that one. If you guys want every bet that I make every single day for free, DM me on Instagram. I give away every bet that I make. All my research goes towards the picks I make. They're all available on the SHARPZ app for free. So just DM me on Instagram. That's Butt Fumble Sports on Instagram. Butt Fumble Sports, DM me, and you get my picks for free every day. Let's give out another free pick. We've already given out a couple of NBA picks. We took Celtics on the money line. I know, heavy favorite, but I put that into a same-game parlay with Darius Garland over 14.5 points. That Celtics money line, same game parlay as Darius Garland over 14.5 points. I also have the Thunder on the money line, so I do have the favorites in the NBA winning this evening. Already I've put Dodgers on the money line up on the big board. I also like the Giants on the money line. I'll go one more for you. I know I'm being obvious. I'm taking Orioles on the money line. Corbin Burns, the ace of the Orioles, is on the bump. We like the Orioles to get the win. Orioles on the money line, the next one that we're putting up there. Appreciate that all you guys being with us. Dante, hope you're having a great day. Guardians is the question for Chase Green. Chase, what about Guardians game over 6.5? I would say yes. Chase, I like the Guardians over 6.5. Really like that one as well. Appreciate you guys being with us. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. Make sure you hit the follow button. Make sure you subscribe and make sure you're with us for the entirety of the show. Evan, Rays on the money line. I like that one as well. That actually is going up on my big board as well. Researching it earlier, I do like it. Let's just dive into it really, really quick. We're looking at it from a White Sox perspective. Coming off a loss, they're an away underdog. How have the White Sox performed this year? They're 2-11. Now, they did win their last game under these circumstances. That was against the Cardinals a few days ago, but they have really struggled so far this year. I'd much prefer to be on the side of the Rays tonight. So, Evan, Rays on the money line, I do like. I would probably fold that into a few parlays, though. I think that's absolutely something you should be considering, so keep your eye on that one. Really appreciate all of you guys being with us and appreciate the gifts that a few of you have thrown our way. We really appreciate the support. Tigers, Guardians, over 8.5. Tigers and Guardians, over 8.5. Like I said a moment ago, I like it at the 6.5 that someone just brought up. At the 8.5, a little bit tricky. Let's dive into some of the trends on this one. Let's first look at the Guardians. Coming off a win and a home favorite. 7-2 straight up, 6-3 on the run line, but the over-under has been very, very split. Let's dive into this a little bit more. And what I really care about, and you're going to like this if you are considering the over, let's look at Logan Allen, starting pitcher of the Guardians this evening. We're going to look at Logan Allen so far this year. And the over has been crushing it. So when Logan Allen has been the starting pitcher for the Guardians so far this year, the over has gone 6-1. Not just that, the weather tonight in Cleveland very much favors offense. Likelihood of home runs up 16%. Likelihood of doubles or triples, extra base hits, up 14%. Likelihood of runs up 9%. Good pressure system going through Cleveland. How do I know this? I subscribe to ballparkpal.com, which allows us to look at the weather conditions. I really like the over in this game. Now, on the other side, it is Kenta Maeda. Kenta Maeda has been better towards the under so far this year. So maybe there's a little bit of caution if you're, again, looking to take it at 7.5, maybe even 8 as opposed to the 8.5. But if you did push me to make a pick on this game in terms of the over-under, I would take the over. The over-under has gone 3-3, and Kenta Maeda's 6 starts so far this year on the road. The under's gone 1-1. So I like the over on this game. I would take the over. I will put it up on my big board, actually. Tigers, Guardians, I'll take the over. I take it at over 8. I think over 8 is probably the best spot, given that if it hits 8, I get the push. So, Brian, I'd go over 8 if you could. If it's 8.5, I'd still play with it. Sam, you like the Pirates today. Ooh, that's a tricky one for me. Let's dive into that one a little bit right now. Again, if you guys have questions, no matter the platform you're watching on and no matter the sport you care about, we're here to help you out. Right now, the money's coming down very much on the Pirates. 97% of the money is on the Pirates to win. 97% of the money is on the Pirates to cover a 1.5-run spread. Really quick, let's dive into this one. Pirates, as a home favorite, coming off a win, are 3-1 so far this year. We certainly like that. Flipping it around, how have the Angels been coming off a loss when they're on the road? 5-7 straight up, and really bad of late. The Angels actually are just 1-5 in their last 6 games on the road coming off a loss. Circumstances for tonight. Now, the under might be a slightly better play based on the trends that we're looking at right now, but that's not what we care about. Sam's asking about which side we like, and just based on the early returns, we like the Pirates. Now, let's look at the starting pitcher. Quinn Priester, the starting pitcher of the Pirates, he hasn't had too many starts, so I'm going to kind of throw out his stats. He doesn't matter as much to me. But on this, let's take a look at the starting pitcher, Patrick Sandoval, for the Angels. Angels are just 2-5 straight up in his starts. The over is a slightly better play when he's on the mound. Again, I'm not going to touch the total on this one. Where am I coming down on it, though? Pirates on the money line. Pirates on the money line, Sam. Feel very good about that. Totally agree with you. Jose is taking Orioles on the money line. That's on our big board. JP, so great to see JP coming out. JP's asking about Corbin Burns' strikeout total. Let's do some player prop bet research, okay, everybody? Appreciate the questions. Appreciate you guys watching on TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. We're going to go over to our player prop bets right now. And we're going to look at Corbin Burns, specifically his strikeout total. Again, we're here to help you guys out, so the questions that you have, that's what we're going to be researching. Corbin Burns' strikeout total for tonight's game right now is set at 5.5. We're being asked about the under. In away games, the over's been a slightly better play. So right now, if I took the under's hit just 3 of his last 10 games on the road. Nationals against Corbin Burns, strikeout rate. C.J. Abrams has a strikeout, limited, not a lot of plate appearances overall, but every hitter except one has a strikeout against him, so I don't love it. Yeah, last head-to-head. Just based on what I'm seeing, JP, I don't like the under. Just based on what I'm seeing, I'm not crazy about the under. Now, strikeout rates on the season are pretty low for the Nationals. I understand that may be why you're taking it. But Corbin Burns has had success against these same hitters. They might be slightly improved right now against right-handed hitters, right-handed pitching rather. Low strikeout percentages. C.J. Abrams, 16.3%. Garcia, 13.8%. Winker, 19.8%. That's a great sign for your bet, but this one is very much on the fence because he's been hitting 6 pretty consistently outside of that one start in Kansas City. If I put him just in starts overall, I understand why it might look like a better bet, but on the road, this has been a pretty good play. I'm just not going to take it. I don't have conviction behind it, JP. So, JP, I know you're a loyal viewer. If I don't have the conviction behind it, I would just say find a different bet. Find a bet that makes a little bit more sense for you. Fort Squatter has an NBA question for us, so let's jump on over to some NBA questions. These are about the spreads. Let's look at the spreads for these NBA games. I've already given out my money line play. You guys know where I'm going on that. Celtics money line, put into some same game parlays. Thunder on the money line, certainly like that. But let's dive into specifically the spread. Right now, the Celtics are actually getting a little bit more love from both the public and the smart money when it comes to the spread. 52% coming down on the Celtics to cover a 12.5-point spread. Ridiculously high spread. Let's take a look at that actually so far this year. When a home favorite has had a spread, a line of at least let's say minus 11, because we've seen it minus 11 in a lot of places. So far this year, that can't be right. Hold on one sec. Wow. Home. A home team. That can't be right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I don't know why killersports.com is screwing up like it is. Pretty bad. Pretty bad, killersports.com. I don't mean to shit on the website, but it's struggling. Let's put it this way. Teams that have had a spread of 11 points or more have only 8 losses this year. So a lot more wins. Can't pull up the record right now because killersports.com is sucking. Kind of unfortunate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, that's a nice round number. In 9 of the last 10 games with the spread of this size, the favorite has won. The only time it lost was the Celtics losing to the Heat. But you care about the cover. Cover's not been as clean. But again, why isn't this just giving me what I want? Very frustrating. Let's flip it around. Let's go away, and let's say the line has been greater than 11. Man, because that can't be right. It's not showing me 140 results. It's only showing me since March, that's why. I guess that's too much. Let's look at since... All right, this is stupid. Sorry. Since 2004... Let's say since March 1st, since it's being a bitch. Okay, since March 1st, there have been 56 games in which a line has been greater than 11. Let me say that again, because I'm screwing up right now. Killersports.com has me off my game. Okay, since March 1st of this year, there have been 56 games where the underdog has had a spread of at least 11, if not greater. Right now, it's actually incredibly even. Against the spread, the underdog has gone 27, 28, and 1. Like, why is it screwing up so bad? Yeah, the underdog it's saying has gone 42, 43, and 2 with a line of that size. Personally, I wouldn't bet the line on this game. Let's go to the teams. I'm really frustrated. I'm disappointed that killersports.com is sucking like this. Let's go to the Cavaliers. When the Cavaliers have had a line greater than, let's say, 8, when they've been an underdog of 8 points or more, it's only happened 3 times. Every single time was to the Celtics. The only team where they've been an underdog of 8 points or more was to the Celtics. They went 1-2 in those games. Only game that they beat the Celtics, March 5th, that was that comeback game. Celtics had a lead. Cavaliers came back and won, 105 to 104. So there you go. In those 3 games, though, the margin of difference has been around 5 points. So right now, let's just flip it around. Let's say when the Celtics have had a line of 11 or more, minus 11, greater than minus 11. Celtics are 25-3 so far this year with a spread of that size. Against the spread, 17-10-1. But not as good of late. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games, their last 7 games that dates back to March 28th. They've actually only covered the spread 3 times. They've gone 3-3-1 against the spread when it's been 11 points or more. So something of note there. Personally, I'm not crazy about this. I'd avoid it. How about, let's take a look at when they faced an opponent with a winning record and they've had a spread of that size. We're continuing to try and trim down the data that we have to find a good note. Man, I have bad news for fans who want the Cavaliers to cover. When the Celtics have had a spread of 11 points or more and they faced an opponent with a winning record and above 500 winning percentage, they're 8-2 straight up. They're 7-3 against the spread. By the way, 2 of the 3 times that they lost, obviously, that was to the Lakers in February and to the Heat a couple of days ago, back on March 24th. Overall, personally, I think Celtics to cover is actually a better bet than I would have expected. Probably would have taken it. Let's dive into a little bit more. When the Cavaliers are facing an opponent with rest that's greater than 2, Cavs are 4-1 against the spread. If I had to go anywhere with this spread play, it opened at 11. It's now up to 12.5. I think I might take the Cavaliers at plus 15.5. I'll do that. Cavaliers plus 15.5. You found a spot where I'd be willing to take it. I don't love this, but Cavaliers plus 15.5. I think that's where I take them to cover. I wouldn't take it at the 11. I might take it at the 12.5 where it's being offered now. What did I put on my big board and what bet would I feel safe making? It would be 15.5. IP Shade 45, thanks so much for the support. Appreciate the hat. Let's do some more research. We're going to switch to the other game now, and then we'll get back to your questions in one moment. Again, if you guys want my bets for free every day, I give them away for free. DM me on Instagram, ButtFumbleSports. DM me on Instagram. I'll give you a link and referral code so you can see every bet that I make for free. They're never behind a paywall. I never hide them. I never delete them. I want you guys to see my bets. You can follow them. You can fade them. That's up to you. Do I get them all right? Nope. I hit my individual picks at about a 65 to 68% clip. I hit all of my bets at about a 55 to 57% clip. If you guys want to follow, DM me on Instagram. You can see every bet I make for free. I never want you guys spending money on my picks. Ever, ever, ever. You guys deserve to spend money on bets. You shouldn't be spending money on picks unless it's from a true Vegas expert. That I am not. Let's do some research on the Thunder. Right now, the Thunder are actually getting a bit more love to cover than the Mavericks are. 61% of the money is on the Thunder to cover, where only 50% of the tickets are on the Thunder to cover. So very interesting there. Thunder getting a bit more love from the people who know what they're doing, the bettors, the smart money. So we'll keep our eye on that as we put together our research, and hopefully we're lining up in the same direction as the smart money. Now, really quick, I am going to go to the injury report on this one. Luka Doncic, game time decision. Maxi Kleber, he's out. He's out for this series at least. Those are a couple of names just making note of. How'd this open up? 2.5-point spread in favor of the Thunder. It's moved to 3.5. So the money continues to come down, and clearly it has some people excited about the Thunder. When the Thunder have had at least 2 days of rest, let's take a look at that. When the Thunder have had at least 2 days of rest so far this year, they're 13-5 straight up, only 9-8-1 against the spread. So when the Thunder have actually had time off, they haven't been a great team. Let's take a look at when they're at home. Now, different note here though. Different note. We found a great trend, everybody. When the Oklahoma City Thunder are at home on at least 2 days of rest, they're 10-1 straight up. You heard that correct. The Thunder on the money line are 10-1 under the circumstances that they have tonight. You guys already know I like the Thunder on the money line. This was actually the trend that I like. Kind of interesting, actually, when they have 2 days of rest or more and they're on the road. They're actually a pretty bad team. Pull that note up just so you can see it. Kind of interesting there. But let's take a look at how the Mavericks have done under this situation. Mavericks have 3 days of rest. They're on the road. How have they performed under these circumstances? 6-4 straight up, 6-4 against the spread. Under's been slightly better at 6-4 as well. How about when the Mavericks have had an opponent with at least 2 days of rest or more, and the Mavericks are on the road? They've gone 4-3 straight up, 4-3 against the spread. Margin of difference actually slightly in the opponent's favor by 1 point. So not a great note there. I'm going to continue to just go through some of these trends, looking for any bit of data that we can find. So let's say when the Thunder are on 2 days of rest and they're facing an opponent with an average winning percentage greater than 500, a winning team. The Thunder so far this year, 7-2 straight up, 7-2 against the spread, and the over 6-3. By the way, if I put them at home, even better. Thunder are 3-1 straight up, 3-1 against the spread when they are a home team with 2 days of rest against an opponent with a winning record. Interesting. By the way, the over is 4-0 in those games. 4-0. Over is 4-0. Okay. Personally, I would take the Thunder to cover. I'm going to put it up on the board right now so you can see it. I would take the Thunder at the -2.5. That's where it opened. That's what I like it at. Thunder -2.5. But if you took them at the -3, I don't think it's a bad decision. If it gets a little bit close at the end with free throws, I'd always like to have the extra point in pocket. But Thunder -2.5, I'm all about that one as well. But let's switch over and let's look at the total. The over's getting some love, and now I understand why. The over is attractive to me. This opened at 214. It's moved to 217.5. I'm going to buy it down, and I'll take the over. I'll take the over at 213.5. So that is Mavericks, Thunder, over 213.5. So there you go, everybody. Here's a recap of the NBA picks we've given out so far. We have Celtics on the money line. I did a same game parlay. Celtics on the money line with Darius Garland over 14.5 points. I have Thunder on the money line. I got Thunder -2.5 as well if you want to play the spread. I have Mavericks and Thunder over 213.5. That's Mavericks and Thunder over 213.5. I would take the Cavaliers to cover at 15.5. I feel like 15.5, that's a spot I'd be willing to take it. 11, probably. 12.5, probably. But I'm just not quite there. As for the MLB picks we've given out so far, I have Dodgers on the money line. Dodgers on the money line. Giants on the money line. Orioles on the money line. Rays on the money line. Pirates on the money line. And Tigers Guardians over 8. Tigers Guardians over 8. Let me recap, okay? Here's a recap of the MLB picks. Dodgers money line. Giants money line. Orioles money line. Rays money line. Pirates money line. And Tigers Guardians over 8 runs. I give away my picks for free every day. They're never behind a paywall. You guys work hard for your money. You shouldn't be spending your money on research. I do it for free. I give away my picks for free based on the trends and data that I study. If you want every bet that I make every day for free, DM me on Instagram. Butt Fumble Sports, DM me on Instagram to get every bet that I make, including some that I don't put up here. So some of my bets are exclusively on SHARPZ. That's the app that I use to show off my picks every day. So DM me on Instagram. You can see every bet that I make every day. You can keep me honest. You can see if I'm calling out my picks correctly or if I'm missing on them. Let's get back to doing our research. If you guys have questions, fire away. JP, do you have any hockey picks tonight? If not, can you pull up the public betting trends on the hockey? Let's talk some puck, everybody. Let's talk some puck. Now, I got last night wrong. I had the Bruins losing. To the Panthers, and that was largely based on the fact that the Panthers have owned the Bruins dating back to last year's playoffs. That was a bad move by me, I'll admit, because I heard a trend today that actually teams that go 7 games, that play an opponent that's on a longer period of rest, the team that played more frequently actually has performed better. You know who's under those circumstances tonight? The Dallas Stars, everybody. The Dallas Stars. Keep your eye on them. I know they're not the betting favorite in terms of how the money's coming down. They are the favorite in terms of the odds. But keep your eye on that. Teams that actually have the shorter turnaround between series have actually performed better from a betting standpoint. Who knew? Let's take a look at that Rangers game. By the way, again, for those that were curious, 64% of the tickets are on the Stars. 57% of the money is on the Stars. So the money pushing the Avalanche up a little bit. Kind of interesting there. As for the spread, Avalanche are a very strong play against the spread right now, the plus 1.5 goals. The over is getting a bit more love as well. How about the Hurricanes and Rangers? Right now, the Rangers are getting love from the public and from the smart money. 65% of the tickets are on the Rangers to win. 71% of the money is on the Rangers to win. However, the Carolina Hurricanes getting some love to cover the spread. The Hurricanes are getting 68% of the money to cover the spread. Am I saying this correctly? The Rangers are an underdog? Right now on DraftKings, Rangers plus 1.5. Am I missing something? Let's take a look at the injury report. Does anyone know why the Rangers are underdogs? Kind of surprising there. Obviously, Rangers have the better record. The Rangers are at home. Kind of surprised. Let's take a look at some betting trends, everybody. Let's get into some data. Why are the Rangers an underdog? Someone's got to explain that to me with small words and big pictures. Doesn't quite make sense. Let's take a look at the Rangers. Have the Rangers been a home dog so far this year? Just once, and they lost. The Rangers were a home underdog one time this year, and they lost to the Panthers. Interesting. Interesting. Let's see when their line is greater than 100 and line is less than 115. They lost all 3 games under those circumstances. So the line that the Rangers game is set at right now, the Rangers have only had a line at that mark 3 times this year. They're 0-3. Let me raise that a little bit. Man, the more I raise it, the worse they look. When the Rangers have a line between even money and 130, they're 0-4, and the over is 3-1. That really catches my attention, everybody. Let's take a look at the Hurricanes. Now, Hurricanes, let's say, coming off a loss, and they're a road favorite. Coming off a loss as a road favorite, they're 7-4 straight up. They've won 3 of their last 4. The only loss they had was to the Sabres. It was a 2-3 loss. Interesting. Interesting. Right now, based on what I'm seeing, Hurricanes even it up. Let's dive into it, though. I'm not done looking at it. Rangers coming off a win, then playing at home. Rangers coming off a win, then playing at home. 21-7. They've won 5 straight games at home coming off a win. The only thing that got me was like when the Rangers are a home underdog, they're not good. I don't know, man. I don't know. Something's getting my attention on this one. I'm not going to bet it because I really don't have a good feeling about it. But I'll just say to you guys, something's telling me the Hurricanes might be a better bet. There's a reason the Rangers are an underdog right now. And I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. Now, there's value there because the Rangers should be a favorite. But that makes me curious. I'm a little cautious about that. Keep your eye on that one. So those are our hockey picks for the day. I'm actually not putting any hockey picks up on the board. Don't have a lot of confidence in the 2 games. I'm just going to be an observer, but wow. Interesting that the Rangers, when they've been an underdog with that line, not good. Not good at all. In fact, they've gone winless. Diego is asking about Giddey, points, rebounds, and assists. Let's take a look at Josh Giddey, everybody. We're going to do some player prop bet research for all you guys out there. For all of you watching, if you're curious about the research tool that I'm using right now, it's called Outlier, Outlier. It allows me to do sports betting research better than any other website, app, tool I've ever seen. It does require a subscription. If you want a free 7-day trial, DM me on Instagram, ButtFumble Sports. DM me on Instagram. You can get a free 7-day trial, and you can try Outlier for yourself. I think it's certainly worth it because, with that said, you get a return on your investment pretty quick if you're using it correctly. Now, Josh Giddey over-under I see is set at 21.5. The matchup for him is actually very favorable. Mavericks are 27th in points allowed to shooting guards, 29th in rebounds allowed, 25th in assists allowed. So they do not do well against shooting guards. In fact, Josh Giddey has gone 7, has hit the over for tonight. His over-under for this is 21.5. He's hit this in 7 of his last 10 games, 8 of his last 10 home games, his last 2 games against the Mavericks. Wow, this is a really good play, actually. This is what I would take, though. Just, Brian, it's how he's marked. It's how he's marked on Outlier. That's how I use it. I don't care where other people are labeling him. Outlier is what I'm using for this. So you can tell me he's a different position. Great. I'm going to go off what Outlier's telling me because they're matching up the stats to the position that they have him in. So that's why, Brian. With that said, Josh Giddey. By the way, I'm not crazy about this guy. I think I'm just gonna mute him. Yeah, great. Okay. Because I didn't like the underage joke. Thought that was unnecessary. So anyway, Josh Giddey, right now, his points, rebounds, and assists is set at 21.5. I like it at 19.5. I'll put that one up on the big board, actually. Josh Giddey over 19.5 points, plus rebounds, plus assists. Yes, I get it. You can make an underage joke. There was a time for that. I'm kind of over it now. Josh Giddey over 19.5 points, rebounds, and assists. That's the bet that I like. Great to see a familiar face out there. Been a while. Great to see you. Diego, don't even worry about it. I muted him. Don't even worry about it. I didn't like he made an underage joke, and it was like, yeah, I get it. That's trite. Find some new material, man. Kyrie Irving over 5.5 assists. Let's do Kyrie over 5.5 assists. And yes, I will block you if you don't come up with creative, shit. Like if you're gonna try and make jokes, be creative at least. Don't just use old material. Okay, assists for Kyrie, not a great matchup. OKC 10th in the league in assists allowed to point guard, so not a great matchup. Just noting that. Let's see how it's been on the road. Not very good. Inconsistent. He's gone over 4.5 assists in 5 of his last 10 games, so not a great play. What's up, Stumpy Rules? Daz, you're seeing it at 5.5 assists. I like it even less there. I hate it there, actually. Head-to-head against OKC. He has hit this 2 games in a row against OKC. Daz edits, we finally found a trend that actually is favorable. I like it at the 4.5. Frankly, I don't love it. I don't love it. I like it. I don't love it. The matchup, not great. Obviously, OKC, it's worked. If I had to go in any direction, I'd say take the over 4.5. Kyrie over 4.5 assists, but it's not going up on my big board. I don't feel strong enough about it just yet. Diego, I'd rather take Kyrie on points. Let's take a look on points. Frankly, I wouldn't. His point total isn't great. It's 24.5. OKC's a pretty good defense against the point guard position. On the road, 11 of his last 20 head-to-head against OKC. He's hit it both times. If I were to take him on points, I'd take over 23.5. So if I were to take Kyrie tonight, I'd take over 4.5 assists. I'd take over 23.5 points. But I'm not betting Kyrie. I just don't feel strongly enough about it, just based on the matchup. I know the history says one thing, but the matchup says another. I don't love it. What about Jared Allen on points? Do we have confirmation if Jared Allen is playing? Let's take a look. So the injury report, Jared Allen is a game-time decision. Porzingis is obviously out. Dean Wade is out. Jared Allen, game-time decision. His point total is set at 13.5. This has been a very good bet. Very good bet. Actually, shout out to Nihal. This has been incredibly consistent. Jared Allen has gone over 13.5 points in 9 of his last 10 games overall. Against the Celtics, though, not nearly as good a bet. Only 3 of his last 7 games against the Celtics has this hit. On the road just once. So I actually don't like this bet tonight. I feel better about it in Cleveland. I don't like it as much. Nihal, it's a really good find by you. This is certainly a lawn, 9 of his last 10 games, but against the Celtics, not nearly as good a bet. Again, he's only hit it 3 times against the Celtics in his last 7 games, only 1 time in Boston, so not as good a bet as I would have liked. Let's take a look at the head-to-head matchup, though. Yeah, against the center position, I don't love it. Now, without Porzingis, maybe this is a little bit better, but I can't really judge that. I'm just going to base it off the fact hasn't really performed well under the circumstances of playing the Celtics and getting that point total. So that's where I come out on Jared Allen. If you guys want every bet that I make every day for free, DM me on Instagram. Butt Fumble Sports, that's the name of my company. Butt Fumble Sports, DM me on Instagram. I never charge you for a bet. I give away my picks for free. I do my research every single day because I love sports betting. I love making sports content, and I love just talking sports. So if you guys want to see the picks I like based on trends, data, and analytics, it's never based on my favorite team or my favorite player. It's always based on data, analytics, trends, matchups, using killersports.com, Outlier, ballparkpal.com, a lot of other websites, basketball reference, so we can do referees and things like that. So if you want to see what picks I like every day based on trends, data, and analytics, DM me on Instagram. Butt Fumble Sports, DM me on Instagram. Do you do good most of the time on your bets? So on individual bets, we hit it around a 65 to 68% clip. When it comes to parlays, we're worse. Obviously, parlays are tougher. Right now, overall, all of our bets, we're hitting at about a 56, 57% clip. That's with parlays included, which is actually pretty good. The fact, I don't like betting parlays, ironically. I do it because of you guys. So many of you guys love parlays, and the sponsors like parlays, so I do parlays. But actually, parlays are really bad to bet, especially if you do like 8, 9, 10 leg parlays. So we bet those and we lose those frequently. But the fact that actually we have such a good percentage, that's like saying I have a really high batting average even though I have a lot of strikeouts. Like, still pretty good actually. So that's kind of what it means. Anyways, DM me on Instagram if you want all of my bets every day. Cameron, the pick we made for Guardians and Tigers is over 8 runs. Guardians, Tigers, I took over 8 runs. Let me throw another pick up on the board for you guys just to say thank you for you guys watching and supporting the show. I'm taking the Twins on the money line, everybody. Twins on the money line, but that's not the only bet I like for that game. Mariners, Twins, I'm going to take the under 9.5 runs. Mariners, Twins, under 9.5 runs for that game. Based on ballparkpal.com, that game actually has the greatest likelihood of hitting the under. There is a negative 9% chance of runs being scored. That's the lowest of any game so far today. So Twins on the money line, I really like. Bailey Ober is on the mound for the Twins. Bailey Ober has been fantastic for them. Let me show you as I pull it up here. Bailey Ober has gone 3-0 in his last 3 starts. He started off slow, started off 0-3. Not really his fault. Other than his first start, he's actually pitched pretty well. But he's gone really well. He's pitched well in his last 3. By the way, again, I do like the under for this game, under 9.5. How do you feel about Guardians on the money line? If I had to go in any direction for that one, I would take Guardians on the money line, yes. Cameron, I'm just like, if I had to pick it, I'm not putting it up on my big board, but if I had to bet it, I would take Guardians on the money line. By the way, guys, this is a random note for you. We are 119 days away from the NFL season starting. If you love fantasy football, make sure you hit the follow button. Make sure you subscribe, because as crazy as it sounds, we're actually about a month away from starting our fantasy football coverage. Rival Fantasy is our sponsor when it comes to fantasy football. They have mock drafts that they're getting loaded up over the next few weeks. Schedule being released on Thursday, Jose is right. That's why I bring it up too. We will know who's playing who in just a couple of days. That'll allow us to do future bets. That'll allow us to do mock drafts. We'll finally be able to really understand how to bet the NFL for 2024 and how to build our fantasy teams for 2024. So if you are a football fanatic, make sure you follow Butt Fumble Sports because, yeah, it may be May 7th today, but fantasy football is literally just a few weeks away for us. So make sure you're with us because I could not be more freaking excited. We did over 50 leagues on Rival Fantasy last year. Everybody got paid. Every league got paid. Everyone had a good time. We're going to try to go for over 100 leagues this year. You heard me correct. I am challenging all my viewers. I want to put together over 100 fantasy football leagues where we compete against you all season long. They all have prize money thanks to Rival Fantasy because they're freaking awesome. Check out Rival Fantasy today. They have a ton of good games, whether it's fantasy or challenges. Definitely check them out. But fantasy football right around the corner, so make sure you guys are following us and joining us for fantasy football because it's only a few weeks away, everybody. If you guys have any more questions about tonight's action, let us know. JP is asking Giants-Rockies under 10.5. That's a tricky one for me. I'm not going to touch that one, in part because when it comes to the starting pitching, I tend to like the under. When it comes to the location and the weather, I like the over. JP, if I had to go in any direction, I'd probably go over, but I don't like the 10.5. I'd avoid it. JP, I just avoid that game altogether. Chase Green, I like Brewers -1.5 and over 7.5 runs. Lugo is on the mound tonight. What do you think? Let's take a look at that Brewers game really quick. So Brewers going up against the Royals. Personally, I kind of like the Royals in this game. I know you mentioned Seth Lugo, but there were actually a lot of trends that have me backing the Royals. So actually, on my notes, I have Royals on the money line. I do have the under in this game, though. So what's interesting is we're going in two different directions on both of this, Chase. I'm taking the Royals on the money line, and I am taking the under. I'm taking Brewers-Royals under 9.5. So, Chase, we'll find out who called this game correct tonight. User 32, Orioles under 8.5. LA on the money line. Is that Dodgers or Angels? Cleveland on the money line. User 3275 putting it up there. Team of the 90s is taking the Mets on the money line. Mets are playing the Cardinals. Right now, the money is favoring the Cardinals on the money line, but favoring the Mets to cover the spread. Just take note, everybody. Private, I love Garland. I took it at 14.5 points. I folded it into a parlay, a same-game parlay with Celtics money line. But private, if you follow me on Instagram or you follow me on the SHARPZ app, you know I love Darius Garland over 14.5 points, but you could take it over 15.5. Love that bet, private. Great call. User 3144. Stop sports betting, guys. It's rigged. Did y'all not watch the Knicks game? Well, here's my question. If it's rigged, doesn't that help sometimes? Like, here's my question. If it was truly random, I'd go, okay, maybe actually I shouldn't, I should stop betting on sports because it's just random. It's just a coin flip. But actually what you're saying, user 3144, is actually it's not 50-50. That actually a lot of these games are not as even or coin flip as we may think. That actually one side actually has an advantage, whether it's the referees, whether it's the location, whether it's the weather, whether it's the matchup, whether it's trends or history. So what you're saying, user 3144, is sports betting is risky. There's obviously a chance you could lose, but you're also telling me that there's actually a side that has a greater chance of winning than the other. Very interesting. User 84, Pacers got way more free throws than the Knicks. I mean, later on, but that was really to kind of match the level. The Knicks were getting a ton of free throws there for a while. I felt like Jalen Brunson was living at the foul line. Jose, Mets and Cardinals, I actually didn't bet on this game. I didn't like the either side. There were no trends I looked at earlier that really back either one. Diego, thoughts on the Timberwolves lockdown defense? First of all, I want to give so much credit to the Timberwolves coaching staff. No one's talking about that today. Their head coach isn't on the bench because he tore his patella in a freak accident. So it's his head assistant is now the acting head coach, which means everyone has to kind of step up their role. Have we noticed? Obviously, people talked about Rudy Gobert not playing yesterday because of the birth of his kid. Has anyone talked about the fact that their coaching staff is dealing with this? I am so impressed by the Timberwolves right now on a couple levels. First of all, their general manager, who used to be the GM of the Nuggets, who helped build that great team, he has built a juggernaut, and Anthony Edwards is a superstar amongst superstars. Like, in a league in which every team has a budding star, Anthony Edwards would probably be, outside of Wemby, the guy I'd want to buy stock in the most. Wembanyama, he's an alien. There's a reason he's the next LeBron or the next Anthony Davis or the next Wilt or Bill or whatever. But the point is, if I could buy stock in any prospect, in any upcoming player, in any budding star outside of Wembanyama, it'd be Anthony Edwards. That dude is a killer. He plays on both ends of the floor. Great teammate, absolute leader. I'm so impressed by the Timberwolves, and you're right. Their defense is exhausting to play against and even exhausting to watch. Jamal Murray looks so frustrated. I have never seen him behave that way. Nikola Jokic at times was frustrated. I am just incredibly impressed by the Timberwolves from the GM building the team to the coaching staff doing this with the head coach injured in row 2 of the stands, and then having this team deal with obviously Gobert being out, going up against the defending champions. The Timberwolves right now are not only for real. If I were to place a bet right now on the team to win the finals, I would bet on the Timberwolves because they're the best bet. The Celtics might have the best odds, but if you told me right now who would I place money on to try to get a return on that investment, it's the Timberwolves. And this is actually the real bet. If I were to place a bet right now, Anthony Edwards, NBA Finals MVP. Anthony Edwards, NBA Finals MVP. That's a bet worth making right now. The chance that they make the Western Conference Finals is really strong. If they make it past OKC, the chances that the MVP is someone other than Anthony Edwards on the Timberwolves is very low. It could either be Gobert, Cat, or Anthony Edwards. I can't see it being anyone outside of those three. I don't see them giving it to Gobert. I think Cat probably has his moments where he kind of, shies away from the spotlight a little bit. He's not always the most clutch player. I think Anthony Edwards, NBA Finals MVP, from a betting perspective, is actually a pretty good one. I put a Benjamin Franklin on the Wolves to win it all. Diego, wicked smart. I love it. I love it. By the way, Will is asking about a Judge home run. Will Aaron Judge hit a home run tonight? Will, I freaking love it, man. I love that you came on the show. I love the question. Let's take a look at Aaron Judge. Will Aaron Judge go yard? So, for a home run tonight, let's take a look. Over half a home run, plus 250, head-to-head, going up against Justin Verlander. Aaron Judge does have 2 home runs in his career. Aaron Judge has faced Justin Verlander. He has 21 at-bats against him. He's hitting 190. He's hitting 190 against him. I mean, damn. That is ugly. Now, he has a low strikeout percentage, actually, only 18.2. He does have the 2 home runs. Aaron Judge hasn't hit a home run against a right-handed pitcher since April 28th back in Milwaukee. In fact, at home, Aaron Judge only has 2 home runs at home against right-handed pitching this year. It was to the Blue Jays and to the Oakland Athletics. Personally, I'm not crazy about Judge hitting a homer tonight. He is starting to heat up, but his batting average is just too low. Again, I understand the home runs might be a slightly better call than anything else, but Will, I say no and he'll probably hit one, but just based on the data, the trends, everything I'm looking at, I'm not crazy about it. Let me go over to ballparkpal.com really quick. I'll look at that one. Ballparkpal.com. Judge, they think he's got the greatest chance of anyone in the game to hit a home run. It's a coin flip, Will. I don't love it either way, to be honest. Appreciate you guys joining us on this Tuesday. Make sure you guys hit that follow button so that you never miss our show. JP, I like it. Dodgers, yep, -1.5 in the first 5. I like it. Chase Green, what do you think about the Twins and Mariners game? I like the under. I've got Mariners Twins under 9.5. Twins on the money line. Mariners Twins under 9.5. Let me actually recap all the picks that I've made so far during the show. Here are the picks we have so far. Celtics on the money line. That's a same game parlay. Celtics on the money line, same game parlay with Darius Garland over 14.5 points. So Celtics money line, same game parlay with Darius Garland over 14.5 points. I like the Thunder on the money line. I'd also take the Thunder -2.5. I have Mavericks and Thunder over 213.5. Mavericks and Thunder over 213.5. I have Cavaliers plus 15.5. Again, Cavaliers to cover 15.5. And Josh Giddey over 19.5 points plus rebounds plus assists. Josh Giddey over 19.5 points plus rebounds plus assists. As for MLB, I've got Dodgers on the money line. Giants on the money line. Orioles on the money line. Rays on the money line. Pirates on the money line. Twins on the money line. And I have Mariners Twins under 9.5. Tigers Guardians over 8. Someone was just asking me a moment ago about my favorite no run in the first inning play. My favorite no run in the first inning. It's close. I think I have 2. Okay, so this is a shout out to Jojo Rich. Jojo Rich, my 2 favorite NRFI plays of the day are White Sox Rays, and Mariners Twins. So for no run in the first inning, White Sox and Rays, Mariners, Twins. Appreciate you guys being with us. I've been on for just about an hour, so I'm going to jump off right now. If you guys missed any pick that I made today, DM me on Instagram right now. I share all of my picks for free on the SHARPZ app, so get that free link so you can see every bet I made, including some picks I didn't put out on the show. It didn't put out on my Instagram account. There are a bunch of picks I make that are exclusively on the SHARPZ app, so DM me. I'll send you a free link and a referral code so you can see my bets every day on the SHARPZ app. And again, these picks are based on trends, data, analytics, matchups, injury reports, weather, all the data that we could possibly get our hands on. What can point us in the right direction when it comes to our picks? That's what goes behind it. So if you want to see every bet that I make every single day, DM Butt Fumble Sports. That's Butt Fumble Sports on Instagram. DM Butt Fumble Sports on Instagram to get every bet that I make every day for free. Always for free. Never behind a paywall. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Stay healthy, stay safe, and I will catch you guys tomorrow. Until then, have a great night, everybody. Goodbye.